let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody out there, this is Karev at Heritage Hip Hop saying, welcome to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. We are more than music. We introduce you to your future favorite artists today while standing on the shoulders of those who have made hip hop great. So when you come in here, hit the like button, comment, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Tonight's a very special night because it's coordinated by one of my peoples that uniquely coordinated. Shout out to Burn and her movement. And she wanted to bring on someone whose name is going to go down in hip hop history as one of the graduates of the Grind to Hustle and Win class of excellence. Because see, hip hop was always derived as something that people didn't appreciate, something people made that came from nothing, and yet people now run the world with it. And you can only run the world with a strong man or mind, a strong character, a person that you salute and you respect, not only his call or their call to duty, but their will to succeed whenever anybody tells them that they can't. And today on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, I like to bring up this gentleman who is the personification of you can't stop me, so you better join me to win, or you're going to lose watching me succeed. I'll bring to the stage Shampoo. What's good?
Gotta get my own horns over here. What up, Bob?
What's going on, man? It's a pleasure to meet you finally and talk to you because your story is very official and very inspirational. And I thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, no doubt. Shout out to Uniquely Coordinated for putting this thing together. And I got to ask you a question, man. See, when I interview people who are not rappers and stuff, and people that's behind the scenes, it's very intricate because you have the knowledge of the game that people who are artists take for granted. So let's start from the beginning. How did you choose hip hop? How did you make hip hop a part of your life?
Well, hip hop, I've got introduced to hip hop when I was a kid from Brooklyn, just normal, block parties, breakdancing, being part of, the movement of, just kids in the ghetto growing up, so you could say I was born into hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, for me, hip hop is something that comes from God. It's not something that we just can find, you know what I'm saying? And one of the things that we talk about in hip hop is the art of dance. And everybody dances. You put music on for kids and kids just bop. Is that how you got into hip hop, or was it more of the fashion? Like what showed you hip hop?
Well, dancing, yeah. When I was a kid, I was dancing. That's what introduced me to hip hop. And also, my mother, always used to play Michael Jackson, even though, we don't consider hip hop, but Michael Jackson's hip hop. You know what I mean? Like all the music he was putting out touched, the hood, touched everybody. So that was definitely music that we was banging, Michael, the Bee Gees, those records we was definitely banging as a kid. My mom's was playing that shit a lot. And, it just stuck with me as a kid growing up. That shit was embedded in my brain.
Yeah, you're from the era where people danced on the corner?
Yeah, yep. The whole throwing the cardboard on the floor, the vinyl spinning, wearing white gloves. I remember stealing my first pair of white gloves from Woolworth. You probably don't even know what Woolworth is, Babito.
Stop it.
You never even been
Stop
there.
it. Stop
You know
it.
what Woolworth is, Bob?
Yeah,
You've been inside of Woolworth.
my man.
Inside of Woolworth.
Yes.
I looked at a picture.
Yes. Woolworth, Fortunoff, Good Guys, all that old stuff. Yeah, crazy. All that.
I think I was like 10 years old and I stole a pair of white gloves to dance.
But yo, that's the essence of pure hip hop, because even though people couldn't rhyme, they would battle.
Yeah.
You had the dopest moves. You had those moves. Not only were you pulling the girls, but people was trying to get you for your respect because they wanted to beat you or better you when it came to the moves. Am I right?
Yeah, yep. And that was the era of, freestyle music. So when I used to go to parties, freestyle music used to come on. I used to sit down. At that time, I didn't like it. Now I'm older, you know, as I got older and started going to the clubs, we realized that the ladies love freestyle. And of course, if the ladies love it, you love it. I like
Yeah,
what
that's
she
right.
likes. But
That's
when
right.
you know what I mean? But when I was young, they play that freestyle music. I'll be like, what the hell is this? All this Spanish shit, and I'm Puerto Rican. Be like, all the Spanish fucking music driving me crazy. But every time they throw on hip hop, I jumped up, you know, battled immediately. They didn't care who. You know what I mean? That was the thing, jumping in that circle. You had to have courage to jump in that circle.
But isn't that what hip hop is? Hip hop was always a gut check. It was, all right, it's your time to take center stage. What are you going to do with it? Do you feel that?
Yep, absolutely. Got to be ready.
And that's what made hip hop so beautiful as we matured. Because even if it was the DJ at the party and the dancer, then to the MC or the producer, you always had to have the heart to put yourself out there to succeed. What was the first time you hustled in hip hop and you knew you were built for the win, not only the journey and taking, L's and succeeding as well?
Well, it started my journey as a dancer. Um, when we were signed to Wild Pitch Records, and the first time they took me to How Can I Be Down in Miami, that was it.
Mm.
I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. That's when I got the bug. Going to Miami, seeing beautiful palm trees, being a kid from the hood, not knowing about Florida. They had this big convention called How Can I Be Down. That was like for all the rappers. That was for all
Mm.
the rappers. So that was definitely a turning point for me. Once I got that bug, that was it. That's all I wanted to do is be in the game, some way, somehow.
Dance never died. So how did you transition from dance to something else?
Well, it came to a point where MC Hammer wasn't cool no more. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
niggas wasn't fucking jacking MC Hammer no more. They thought he was corny. I thought to this day I think MC Hammer is still one of the best dancers in the world. You know what I mean? Like I used to watch MC Hammer over and over and over and take this move, take that move, remix it. But it came to a point where dancing wasn't cool no more. So, when I used to dance for artists that was on Select Records, um, he was like, "Yo, dancing niggas ain't dancing no more. Yo, you want to be my hype man?" So that's when I picked up the microphone and started becoming his hype man. And then from his hype man, you know, being on tour with him, being on the road, then I became his road manager. Then after his road manager, I became his manager.
Select Records is history. Who was on Select Records with you?
There was MOP, that was Chub Rock, Kid and Play, Mac the Maniac, um, King Just, the Jerky Boys. Uh, so damn, there's so many artists that was on there, man, on that label. But that's definitely a classic, label, man.
Oh yeah, because my recollection from Select Records, that's how I bought some hardcore. You
Yep,
know what I'm
MOP,
saying? Yeah, that's one of my
MOP.
favorite groups of all time. Shout out to MOP. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But it is something else I want to talk about when it comes to dancing that people know, but they don't talk about. See, when you're a dancer, you're on the ground level. You're in the party.
yep,
You're the person that actually gets the party started, whether people want to give you respect or not, because they want to give it to the music. But if nobody brought people to the dance floor, the DJ never really got the respect to show how he could make a party move.
that's right. We
You are
worked
the coach, huh?
we worked hand in hand.
No, they set the table, you serve the main course. Because no matter if the music plays, that's cool. People can still stand up. But when you brought the energy, and you know anything about people, they're attracted to energy. So they're gonna come see who's bringing that energy. And I think that's natural as a dancer to go, if they wanted to go to being a person in business, because now since you know how to work the party, now you know how to promote the party. Is
Yep,
that a fact?
yep, absolutely.
Talk to me about party promoting and how it's different or similar.
Well, and as I got older, I realized as me promoting the artist at the time that was on Select Records. I started noticing that you know you got to get in the clubs to meet these DJs to give them these records. So what I started doing was a friend of mine um, said, "Yo, I'm about to start doing these parties," and it was like in Gun Hill. It wasn't no, it was like I think it was in the Bronx. I forgot the name of the damn place. So he was the first one to be like, "Yo, man, you know a lot of people. I think you'd be good to do parties, man. You should partner with me." So then I partnered with him, and then the first couple parties we did was success. I had a great time. Started, that was my way of getting to the DJ. So I started booking the DJs that I wanted to get close to. So if I knew I wanted to get close to this DJ, I'll reach out to him, see how much is his rate, and I book them, and then I get close to that DJ, and then I build my relationship with that DJ.
I want to ask you a question that people sleep on. See, when you from New York, it's different from people outside of New York who look at New York. I always call New York the Game of Thrones. Each borough has its own personality, and they all fight for attention in some type of way. You did parties in all boroughs, correct?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
How is promoting or doing a party different in each borough?
Well, it's even though we from New York, it's funny. Everyone listens to something different. Like people in Brooklyn listening to stuff that the Bronx aren't really listening to, or the Bronx not listening to what Queens is listening to. Queens is not listening to what Staten Island listening to. You know, so you have to have knowledge and know, okay, what's the demographic, in that market. Okay, well, what kind of music is it? Okay, this is the type of DJ we need to get. If we're going to the Bronx and it's a Latin community, I know to make sure I book a Latin DJ. If I'm going to, Brooklyn or Queens, and I know it's my crowd is predominantly, African Americans and Spanish, I'm booking a black DJ. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know. And if I'm doing something downtown, 9 out of 10, I'm booking a DJ that knows how to DJ for an open format. So that's the difference on every borough and how to put different DJs in position to work that market.
The respectability I have for what you said goes far beyond, this is music. That's knowing your market and promoting to the ears of the people that you serve. Do you think most people sleep on that today and they don't really understand what it is to market and promote? They just put stuff out and they sleep on who they're actually giving their product to?
No, absolutely. A lot of people don't do their research. They just go for it. They just frisbee shit. They don't really, take the time to do the research and realize, like, what it takes to go in that market. Like, you got to know if you're going to the DMV, what the DMV likes. You got to know if you're going to Miami, what Miami likes. You got to know the markets, and that's by doing research.
By knowing these DJs and building relationship with these artists, not only did you get the temperature of the community and the borough, you also got a temperature for how the game evolved and how to evolve yourself through it. What was one of the biggest lessons you learned by learning the people and the temperature of the area to elevate your knowledge of the game to go to another step?
Well, when I was selling CDs and movies, right? I know that also gave me knowledge of what the community liked. So when I was selling CDs and I was in Brooklyn, I knew that a lot of times they wanted, Latin music in certain places, Latin music, reggaeton, salsa, stuff like that. And I knew in the hood what type of music they like by selling these CDs. So it helped me as moving forward in the music industry to have knowledge of, the consumer on what they prefer and what they like to eat, and you got to feed them.
So let me ask you this: with the rise of the mixtape in the party scene, and even knowing the temperature of the borough, how did the mixtape era benefit you in learning the people? And how did it bring you to an understanding of what's new and how to learn that curve before you got stuck behind it?
Well, when it came to the mixtape era, that's where I got my name from. Because first, because what that's how I got to know a lot of DJs. What I used to do is go into these mixtape stores, and I used to ask the people, "Can I write the DJs' numbers from the mixtapes?" So I used to take their emails and take their numbers and call them, and then solicit music to them. Yo, I got this artist. I'm working. Can I send you some music? Yeah. Yo, come meet me here, and I'm bringing them vinyl because at that time it was vinyl or CDs. CDs was just it was new, but it was more vinyl. So me meeting people, me reaching out to DJs, that was that's how I started my own record pool. So by the time I was able to have my own artists, I already built a relationship by just calling these mixtape DJs over and over and over, giving them new music. Because when I was at Greensleeves, that was a reggae label. A lot of these DJs didn't know how to get those rhythms. So
Mm-hmm.
I was the go-to guy to get those rhythms because I was connected to the streets. So a lot of these DJs, they was just they'll catch it from the internet, but they wouldn't know actually where what label is really putting out these rhythms. So me of building these relationship with these DJs, these mixtape DJs, calling them and sending them vinyl, mailing them vinyl, that became big for me. So those mixtape DJs became radio DJs, became club DJs. So and as they moved, I kept moving, and our relationship kept getting stronger. So whenever I tapped back into these guys, it all became from the mixtapes era of me building relationships with everybody, and they remember me sending them vinyl. So mixtapes was
Which was
definitely a big component and a big movement for me to get in the game.
You said something very pivotal, and we're going to go, ladies and gentlemen, on Heritage Hip Hop. We're going to go to the Let's Build section of this interview, which means that the artist or the guest says something very pivotal that we need to really build on to get you to understand how dope this individual and what they do it really is. Relationships with the DJs, the artists, and the streets. My recollection in going and doing some history on you and doing some research led me to street team marketing and working with people at Def Jam Records. What was that like? How pivotal is the street team to building a label and a relationship to the music industry itself with the people and the actual label?
Well, the that the now it's not as valuable as it used to be. But back in the days when street teams was the key, that was the news. That's how you found out about music. It was street teams. Street teams used to be in front of the high schools, in front of the beauty salons, barbershops, in front of the Fordham Road in Brooklyn and Albee Square Mall, handing out CDs, handing out flyers. Street team is to me is still very important. But a lot of the labels have switched into going to digital marketing because they feel like the world is all on computers. But there's still a lot of people that still rely on word of mouth. That's still key. Word of mouth is still key in this game. So the street team was everything because that's when you knew there was a big rollout. Oh shit, this artist album just came out. I'm seeing them posters everywhere. Yo, I just seen on Fordham Road they had a big truck out there and they was giving away t-shirts and CDs from this artist. That was monumental back then. Like street team van in front of the high schools giving out posters. We don't have that no more. You know, slowly but surely they're trying to bring it back depending on the artist. But they're relying on the internet now, man, and that just definitely killed it a lot. And they think that everybody's still on the internet. Not everybody's on the internet. A lot of people still rely on word of mouth, man.
You know what's funny that what you said it though? Because hip hop perfected it and then it got snatched from them. Because a lot of sports and entertainment venues use street teaming where now music does not. And one of the most important thing about the street team, besides giving out posters and certain search, was the in-store. When the mom and pops was, when you got to
Yep.
really have the relationship. But most sports teams are doing that now.
Yep.
Because music and sports are so related, Why do you think most sports and music doesn't get together to push an artist to do things like that, that not only could build your team's reputation, but also build the entertainment aspect of it with the team and make business more fruitful? Why do you think that is?
Well, because nowadays these artists are liabilities now, so you can't you can't attach your brand to every artist anymore, because these artists nowadays with the music today, you may get an artist you attach your brand to, and he may end up shooting somebody. You know what I mean? And now your brand looking crazy that you're attached to this guy that just something nuts outside. So that's why a lot of these companies don't attach themselves to artists anymore, because these artists has become liabilities.
One thing I'm gonna say is I want to give a shout out and a rest in peace to Big K, formerly of Def Jam Street Team.
That's my brother right there, Big K forever.
Now he had a squad, and you also had a squad. And one thing I know, when you have a squad, you make sure your squad eats.
Yep.
That's what hip hop did, especially real people in hip hop. That's what they did that the other entertainment venues do not do. And when you make sure you can build a team, when you go to these different labels, not only can you find yourself in a head position, but you could be in a leadership position just walking through the door. You talked about Select Records, but you have clout and you have a history with other labels as well. What other labels have you helped define and bring them to a higher level?
Well, label wise, man, I've been a part of pretty much every label, man. I've been blessed to work, start left here and then be working at right there. You could have went. Sorry about that. I got the legend Mike Geronimo here driving me. Mike Geronimo, guys. If you don't know hip hop, this is Mike Geronimo. He's right here. He's
one of my
chauffeur.
favorite MCs of all time. Shout out the Master IC, still plays in my car.
Yeah, that's this is him right here, guys. This is the guy.
Salute to the guy. Yo, from me to you, thank you for making high school the shit for me. I appreciate you.
Anytime, bro. I'm glad I can help, man.
Yeah. So hold on, let me jump out this car real quick. Give me one.
Ladies and gentlemen, you never know who's going to be on Heritage Hip Hop. Mike Geronimo was just on the stream. That's peace.
Come on, the legend right here, man. It's right here. Legend Mike Geronimo. Legendary. Now, Mike Geronimo's back in the studio. That's where we is at all day. So he's back, working. Wait till y'all hear the music that's coming, man. It's incredible. I'm excited. And
you got an open seat on Heritage Hip Hop.
Feel me?
You got an open seat on Heritage Hip Hop.
Hell yeah.
Come on down.
Yep, hell yeah. Hell yeah. As soon as we yo, don't forget put your hat back. Yeah, as soon as all right, fam. As soon as we get his single rolling out and when we get moving, I got you on that.
So one of the labels that come up from your profile is TVT Records. Now TVT Records was the home of Lil Jon and Pitbull, correct?
Yeah, man, that was that's one of the labels. That's when I became Shampoo like on my own, because before I was under the artist that was at Select Records as his manager, as his road dog, his manager. Then he woke up one day, didn't want to do music no more. So that's when a guy that I knew that was the A&R at Select Records, he's bumped into me in the club. He was like, yo, I was doing parties at that time. I was doing like a number one party in Jersey every Thursday called Club Dramas. There was a big Latin party, and it was, that's where everybody came. So he comes to the club. He's like, yo, I got this new artist, man. I need your help. You Latin, right? I said, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. He's like, yo, you speak Spanish? I was like, yeah, absolutely. He said, yo, I got this artist. He's from Florida. His name is Pitbull. You ever heard of him? I said, never heard of him, man. He said, yeah, this guy named Little John just signed them. I said, oh, yeah, that's the guy from the Dave Chappelle show. Yeah, he just signed them, and I need you to start moving him around and start, putting the footwork in the street. So that's when we went crazy with Damn Man, and we had Pitbull everywhere in New York City. That's his posters. That's where, people started noticing, like, yo, who's doing that? Who's doing that stuff with Pitbull? And that's when the name started ringing.
Yo, that salute to you, because not only did Pitbull become one of the biggest artists in the world, he had a lot of humble beginnings when it came to rhyming as well. So you really had to cultivate an artist. How did you cultivate an artist, and what are artists missing today by not being structured and really groomed into the industry?
Well, first of all, the people that's grooming people don't know how to build an artist. They don't have stage presence. They don't know, how to put a show together. They don't even know how to put a show tape together. So a lot, by starting there, they're lacking performance. You may like his record, but you see him perform, he's horrible. He has to have 30 people on stage for you to believe that he's the shit. But 9 out of 10, he's horrible by himself on stage. So, these people they're just microwaving these artists. They just putting them out. They're not even, nurturing them, letting them sit in the studio for a year, giving them media training, giving them, making sure that he's in rehearsing all the time, getting his songs together. They don't do that. A lot of people don't do that. They just, a lot of these guys are street guys, so they don't even know what to do. That's why the benefit of me is I come from performing, so I know what you're supposed to look like on stage. So that's why when I'm working with artists, it's everything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm working on everything. I'm working on their look. I'm working on, their stage presence. I'm working on their media. I'm working on, the whole package before we release you to the world. We want to make sure that you look the part.
I'm glad you said that, because this is one of the most important questions I really wanted to ask you this interview. We are now in the demo era of hip hop, where
Yep.
everything is so raw and the internet is just flooded with unpolished music or unpolished artistry, that hip hop took a hit because people thought that was hip hop,
Yeah.
when you're judging a newborn by adult and teenage status. As a person who's in the industry from the past now to the present, will we ever get out of the demo era? And what do we need to let the artists know that this is only the beginning, and that you will age in this game that you're throwing away so generously?
Well, we hoping that this music changes, because music is suffering. Music is doing real bad out there. A lot of these guys can't pack stadiums. They can't pack clubs. You book an artist, his record is popping, but nobody comes out for him. There's no real connection with these artists. You may like the record, but you don't really know who's the artist. You just like the song. You just like the hook. Back in the day, you got into the artist's whole body of music. His whole body. You got into the project. You listen to every song. Nowadays, these kids don't have, that time anymore. You know what I mean? Everything is being in and out, in and out, in and out. Music. So it's crazy out here, man. Music is suffering, man. Music is doing real bad out there.
DJ S. Nice tuned in. He said it ain't going to change for the better. I beg to disagree. It can change for the better. And as a DJ, I think you will hope it changed for the better, because if you're playing quality music, that brings more parties and more business to you. Am I right?
Right. But that's what we hope. We hoping that the music change, because, you don't want to play a cool, sexy party, but the top 10 records are ratchet and may cause a riot, may cause people to fight. You know what I mean? And may change the temperature in the room. So, we hoping that this get back to good music.
And talking about good music, you have gotten into the foray of starting your own label, your own movement, and bringing out quality music, correct?
Absolutely.
So,
YNVS Music Group, Varick Street.
ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come back with that information in a second. But before we get into that, I thank you for the Let's Build section. We will be back, ladies and gentlemen, after this word. Stay tuned.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. And we are celebrating our legends right here, Jersey, baby. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media. Jersey, you know I love you. Jersey, you know we got bars and we got music and we got legends all day. And if you believe in Jersey and you love Jersey like I do, support that Heritage Hip Hop on all social media platforms. This is Redman and I approve this message.
Salute to the OG Redman for the salute. How you liking the interview so far? How we doing, bro?
No, we moving.
Man, we about to cook right now. So I want to go back to DJ S Nice. He says he's always hoping that it changes for the better, but with this generation carrying over to the newer generation, how can it go back to good music? And that's the point of this interview and what we're going to talk about, because the grind and hustle is to never give up, but it's always to let people know that the journey is the best part. The light at the end of the tunnel only leads to another journey. And that's why I respect you for not only being in music, but you took the time to cultivate what you wanted out of music and went on to starting your own music group.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you want to do that? And what artists did you find that made you want to invest in that?
Well, it all started with my son, Conan. Conan came to me at 13 and was like, yo, Pops, I want to be a rapper. And I was like, yo, man, I'm in the music. I didn't want my son to be in the music industry. I want him to be a doctor, a lawyer, you know what I mean? Be somebody that, have stability, because this music industry, is hard. It's not easy. So Conan was the first one to give me, that was the reason why. And as I'm working with him, he brings me artists. I listen to them. I like them. Then we start working with them. And that's how it started, man. Just saying, like, what, it's time for me to put other people on, And of course, first I started just trying to genuinely put other people on, but there's no loyalty. So, you get people, you help them, they backstab you. They try to run off with your contacts. You hook them up with a plug. They, do secret meetings without you. So that's when I was like, nah, I don't want to really manage nobody. I was like, but this is my son. So if I'm gonna do anybody, I'm gonna manage my son, and that's where we started. Putting out his records, and I had a couple other distribution deals. They were cool, but it wasn't a distribution deal with a push behind it. Now with Varick Street, and it's full circle for me because Varick Street is the first street Def Jam was on. So me being at Def Jam for 15 years, and then now Varick Street, having their own distribution through UMG, Noah Shear gave me a shot, and now we in the race, man. Now we official whistle with the tissue, baby. Now it's time to YMG to make a dent and make some noise, man.
Shout out to In the A Zone says, shout out to Pooh from Big A. All right.
What's up? Yeah, yes, sir.
So you said something very interesting. I always ask people when they come on Heritage Hip Hop, why are you fighting for loyalty in a game where everybody tells you there's no loyalty? You're looking for something in something that does not exist.
Yep.
And for you,
that's why I don't manage a lot of people, because that's why that's why in all these years you still see the same people around me, because it has to stem from that. It has to be loyalty, respect, and love. And if it ain't that, I don't want to deal with it. I don't care how talented you are. If I don't have that type of love and respect for you, and you're not giving me that, I don't want to do it. I don't care how talented you are. Like there's so many dope artists that came to me, but all their music was die nigga slow, die, kill, kill, kill. And I'm like, nah, my man, that's not the type of energy I want around me. I don't want to be walking with my artist and now I gotta hire 3-4 security guards because all you do is kill, 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 murder, kill. And now these guys, they want to see if you're about that, Yeah. So it's crazy.
I want to ask you a question I don't really get to ask too many people, because you said your artist is your son.
Mm-hmm. One of them, that's Conan. And I got Brooklyn, I got Tony Notes, I got Babyface Eli, and we got Guala incubating. You know what I mean? And I got 2 female artists that I'm working on. So in a minute, you start hearing about everybody. But right now, Brooklyn, she got a record out right now called Snapchat. Snapback. Snapback. Rubber Band Girl. And Conan got a record called Journey. Tony Notes got a record called Bam out right now. And Guala got a record called Worship right now. And Babyface Eli, we working on his first single.
Well, I want every song that you said so I could promote it myself. I need that. I love good music. So true indeed. But your son is one of your up and coming artists. As a father, a shout out to you for fatherhood, because while people try to down us, act like our men aren't fathers in today's society, I'm glad you're breaking that stereotype by being frontline with your son. So salute to you. You know what I'm saying?
Never left his side. Me and his mother didn't work out when we were young, but I never left his side. Even when I didn't have no money, I made sure I picked him up, took him to the park, and that's why we have this bond today. That's why we're more than, he's my son, but you can look at him like he's my best friend because he's with me everywhere.
So let me ask you this question. As a man who's a father, your job is not only to protect your son, but you also have to let him go into the world to get his fair share of pain so he could mature into a man. Yep. How do you balance that with the industry and his dream and letting him be an artist, but yet also trying to protect him from that curb that around that corner there's some BS and you don't want him to fall to that?
Well, just me talking to him, I tell him all the time, like, yo, I know these conversations seem, boring, but trust me, man, one day all these conversations are going to kick in, and that's another thing, man. It's about also the receiver. You know what I mean? You got to be able to want to receive the knowledge. You want to be able to receive, and get enlightened. A lot of these kids don't want to hear it. They don't care what you got to say. God bless that my son, he has grown to be a great man, and it's only because him paying attention and listening. And I've always tell him, yo, pay attention to everybody around me. Pay attention to my mistakes. Pay attention to everybody around me that's making mistakes. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from your friend's mistake. Don't just be out here doing dumb shit. Pay attention. You know what I mean? Be aware. And that's why God bless. I'm blessed that, he was one that was respectful and said, you know what, let me listen, because he's an OG. And if anybody's got anything good for me to, for some wisdom, it's going to be my father, not nobody else.
Yo, salute. And we're using those connections. When you put an artist out, you got to put feelers out. Was a mixtape his first feeler, or was it a live show?
It was live shows first, because again, he started as a dancer also. I always used to keep him in dancing and, just performing, martial arts, boxing, kept him active, and boys and girls clubs, acting, drama. But, the stage was his thing. He's always was a gifted, talented person, no matter what he did. Every time he touched the stage, he shined. So, it was the stage that was the opening. And then Kid Capri got, salute to Kid Capri. He was the first one to look out and do his mixtape when he was 15 years old. Kid Capri hosted it. I was like, yo, kid, it's my son. If you could give me a look. And Kid said, yo, I got you, man. I'll do it for you right now. And he hosted my son's mixtape. And that's when they were called the Illa Spitters. It was Conan and Young Core. So, that was the beginning for them, because he was part of a group called the Illa Spitters.
Yo, salute to Kid Capri for being in the community and in the culture heavy and respectful. Yeah. There's not a lot of people like Kid Capri, and God bless the dead to K Slay. There's not a lot of people who really put it on for the culture. But I want to ask you this question, because you brought up artists. What is the difference in every artist you have, and what do you like about every artist that you have?
They're all different. My singer, rapper, writer, and they all get along, and it's family, but everybody's, they all have their own, personal gift that they got, you know what I mean? And that's what I like about them. They're all different. None of them are the same.
So sum it up for me. Conan. Who's Conan?
Conan is a well-rounded artist. He can write. He's a writer. He can spit. You know, he can give you bars. He can give you melodic records. You know, he could do reggae. He could do reggaeton. He could do drill. He's an all-season, all-around artist. You know.
All right. Oh, before we go on,
Yeah.
everybody in here watching, I don't see those likes. We have to hit the algorithm. Hit that like button. Stop cheating yourself and everybody else and my guest of a great interview. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Brooklyn, a writer, singer. You know, she's classically trained. You know, in opera. She's dope. You know what I mean? She's a great performer. Also, she's a singer and a writer. You know, and she's dope with melodies. You know that she goes in the lab and records herself. You know what I mean? So that's another talent that she has. She can record herself and master her own music. You know, Tony Notes, he's a spitter, a wordplay. You know what I mean? He's one of them artists that bar for bar, my money's on Tony Notes. You know, I could put him in a circle with anybody, and he's definitely gonna shock everybody. Babyface Eli, he's a star. You know, and he doesn't even know it yet. You know, he has everything. He writes his own music. He's 11 years old. He writes his own music. He makes beats. He engineers himself. He engineers. Oh, sorry about that. He engineers himself. He engineers for us. You know what I mean? Sometimes when Brooklyn and Conan is recording, the 11-year-old is recording them. You know what I mean? So, you know, we starting him early. So by the time he's 18, he gonna be out here. He's gonna be incredible. You know,
Okay.
Guala, he's from Florida. You know, he gives me that Meek Mill, that pain. He has that pain. He's been in and out of the system for so many years, dealing with, you know, problems with his families, and he talks about that pain. You know what I mean? And you hear it. So you know, I definitely got a good balance of artists.
Salute to you. How do you pick artists for your label? You already said you don't want somebody with a certain energy around them, but what makes an artist enticing for you to make you want to work with them?
Again, you gotta be cool. You gotta have a great personality. Can't be an asshole. Got to be somebody that I could put in the room and you work the room. You know, I like a person that's ambitious, that you know talks, that has a great mind and knows what the artist wants. But now I'm not really looking for artists because I have my whole team that I got to get out. You know what I mean? So my whole objective and my whole focus and mission is to make sure one of these artists hit the moon. You know, that's the goal. I got 5 artists to worry about first before I take on any other projects.
And the mantra of your group is actually the acronym that you have, YNVS. What does YNVS stand for?
Why envy success?
Break that down.
Why envy success? That's plain and simple. Why envy it? Because you get people that see you winning and they hate it. They see you buy a new car. Look at this motherfucker still winning. They see you smiling. Look at him still smiling. Oh, look at him. He's still looking good. Damn, I hate that motherfucker. Why envy success? That's everybody's pain. Everybody can relate to that.
I want to applaud you on that name because it's deeper than what people realize. Because for a person to be successful, you have to go through a certain amount of pain, sacrifice, and hurt. Why do people always envy the reward, but never focus on what that person went through to get or earn the opportunity to have a reward?
Yep.
What is the biggest pain you went through to become successful as you are on this point of your journey?
Just losing friendships, losing close friends that you thought were really your best friends, really were your people that had your best interest, that had your best, you know, people you loved. You know, that's the worst disappointment is detaching from people that you've been with for 20 years. And because they don't see your goal, they don't see your grind, or they don't support you, why stand next to them? You gotta detach yourself from them. You know, keeping people around just to keep people around. I don't do that no more. If you're not doing something to benefit this circle, there's no reason for you to hang around me. You know, friends, you know, it ain't like it used to be. You know what I mean? You can't trust everybody. Everybody got their own, you know, their own plan. And you got to watch how they befriend you. They befriend you because they got their own plan. So, you know, that's why it's definitely hard, man. It's definitely tough.
And that,
You know?
ladies and gentlemen, is why we say, is why are you fighting for loyalty in something where people aren't even loyal to themselves?
Yep.
And
And it's
that's not healthy.
Yep, it's hard. It's hard. You know, people are gonna do what they're gonna do. That you just gotta just minimize how they hurt you. You know, how you gotta not don't give them that many opportunities to hurt you.
Since you have these artists and you're teaching them about loyalty and not loyal, the only thing I believe since you have these artists and you care for them, I believe you're teaching them the only loyalty you need to have is to God, the people who care for you, and the talent that you have. How are you rolling them out so that they could capture that lesson and attract the people to listen to them as well?
Well, of course, you know we're doing everything from the ground. You know, we connecting to their fans one by one, connecting to these DJs one by one, and it's about the groundwork. You know, people want to skip the journey. The journey is the best part of this. You know, don't skip the journey. Don't jump in the elevator. Take the stairs. You know, because when you shoot up too fast, you know, there's nowhere to go. After you hit the ceiling, there's nowhere to go but down.
That's facts. And with showcases, you have any concerts coming up or any live shows coming up that you
Oh
want to
yeah, well
promote?
I'm starting to well, you know, I got a show called the Bar Lord Show. It's on IG and YouTube. I film every Tuesday in Jersey. So I'm always looking out for artists, giving them a platform. I do showcases once a month. I'm doing South by Southwest in Texas. That's coming up March 14th to the 16th. So we'll be in Austin, Texas. I'm starting a Sunday party in New York called the Rabbit Hole every Sunday, R&B only, something growing sexy, something that we can all go out, dress up, and have a good time.
I like that because there's something I want to ask you about that when it comes to artists. You meet artists of different age groups all the time. I know you do.
hmm
And I don't mean artists that just want to get on, and I don't mean artists that are already on. As a person who puts these things together, do you merge the generations or do you feed the generations individually?
No, I merge them. I merge everybody because the youth needs to learn, and they're gonna learn by seeing a lot of these veterans on stage, or in the room. Put them all in the same room, just so they can, get knowledge from these veterans. So I definitely merge everybody.
Salute to you for that because I always hear people call hip hop a culture and nobody knows what the hell a culture is. They
hmm
just say it because it's catchy.
Right.
I also hate the term culture vulture because if you look at a vulture is an animal that eats and survives off of things that are dying or already dead. And if hip hop is alive and it's a living culture, there's no vulture that could take from it. We're freely giving our genius and our riches away.
Yep.
As a person who's part of this culture and has now not only started a no line of richness in it, you're protecting something that's awesome, not only from your blood and your art, your son as your artist, but as a name that's going to live on for many years to come. My question for you off of that is this: what is the most important thing an artist will walk away when dealing with you that will prepare them for anything that comes after the initial meeting and the acceptance of their talent when it comes to you?
Well, you will learn the rap business with me. A lot of these people are in the rap game. There's a difference. They don't know the music business. So what I do is I teach my artists the music business, even down when we going through contracts. I want them to understand what they're signing. I want them to get the knowledge of how to upload their own music. What sites what sites they should be contacting. So it's what you're gonna get from when you leave me is knowledge. You're definitely gonna get knowledge, a lot of it, about how to move in this game, and also how to treat people. I'm big on that. I'm big on teaching them how to treat people, because the people you see on the way up, you see them on the way down, and a lot of people, you know, they may not like your music, but they like you as a person. So that goes a long way. They may be like, the music is trash, but I like that person as an artist, I like that artist as a person, and I like their hustle and they grind, and I respect it. So I'll play the record.
And for that, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to another part of the show called Stand on Your Square. And sir, I'm gonna let you get 30 seconds to talk your talk, let everybody know about you, your label, your artist, and what they need to check for in the future. All right, here we go.
Okay, well, it's YNVS, your boy Shampoo. Make sure you tapping into the Bar Lord Show. I film every Tuesdays. If you're an artist, definitely tap in with me. The Bar Lord Show _. Make sure you look out for YNVS Conan, YNVS Brooklyn, YNVS Tony Notes, Young Eli, Babyface Eli, Guala, YNVS Guala, and just pay attention to YNVS, man. I got YNVS DJs. These guys is everywhere. We're in the clubs. We're in your local bar. Some of these people are in stadiums. So I got I got a big movement happening, man. And just jump on the train, man. And it's one day at a time. Like I said, don't take the elevator, man. Take the stairs.
See that? Couldn't put it any better. My man, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
But this interview is not over, ladies and gentlemen. I have to shout out to YNVS on everything. Let's go. We're going to win. We're going to win. The team is everywhere.
That's
Salute.
Right.
Salute to everybody that's checking in. But this is not the end of the interview, ladies and gentlemen. See, my interviews are great. I think they're great because instead of asking the standard questions, I really like to show you the mind of the artist or the person that's on. So, sir, I like to play a game called rapid fire questions. Are you ready to play this game with me?
I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, the rapid fire questions are not yes, no questions. These are questions derived and made to show you the best and the intelligence of the guests and the craft that they're in. Question number 1. What's the best song to dance to in hip hop history?
The Show.
Ooh, okay.
I remember when
Dougie Fresh
on, with Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick. When that song used to come on, man, I used to go crazy on that dance floor when I was a kid, man.
Beat Street and Wild Style and stuff like that. They would show the breakers, and in the West Coast, they showed the pop lockers, right? What did they get wrong about dance culture and hip hop, in your opinion?
Maybe they didn't put a lot of Latin dancing in it because and dancing is part of hip hop also. Maybe that, but B Street did a great job, man. Wild Style. It's been so long that I vaguely remember Wild Style. I remember that they were tagging up a lot, but that was a long time ago. But B Street, I think B Street was dope, man. I think they did a great job.
Okay. What song or album from an artist out today perfectly describes you?
I say Carl Thomas, Emotional.
Why?
Because that album was classic to me. Like when that album came out, that slowed everything down. Like I remember listening to mad hip hop. When that Carl Thomas came out, it slowed everything down. You know what I mean? It became, you threw that on when you had a girl come over. You know what I mean? Like it definitely was one of those albums that brought the emotional part out in people. So that album was definitely classic to me.
Okay. I say one of the lost pillars of hip hop that people don't identify is poverty. Because we're not having something taken away for you when you create something to survive. And in creating something to survive, you make the world better. What is something that make well how many I ask you like this. Even for your artists, what makes the best music? The pain or the pleasure that comes from the artist?
Well, I say the pain, because when you're in that pain, you definitely tapping into, a frequency that you definitely at a low point, and you're really vulnerable, very emotional, and when them feelings come out, you hear that come across in that music. So the pain.
How has being a father, and especially a father to an artist, made you a better businessman?
Just having thick skin, man. Just having a thick skin for him. Just hearing the no's and the rejections and knowing like how hard it is, you know, and just teaching them like, yo, not everybody's gonna get it, and you're my son, so people are gonna hate on you just because you're my son. It ain't even because of your music. People just gonna hate on you because of that. So, you definitely gotta have to have thick skin, and don't worry. The people that stay in it, that's the people that win. You just gotta stay in it.
Salute to you. I appreciate that because I look forward to talking to your son and having him in that seat on
Hmm.
Heritage Hip Hop as well.
Now let's do that.
As a person who's grown through this industry, you've seen, and I know you've seen this because me and you got to be around that era. You've seen music go from, let's not even go back too far, from vinyl to the
Yep.
tape to the CD to the MP3, and now they have something new coming out to supersede the MP3. That's also a new version of the tape. With music evolving from hardware to software and now into the podcast game, how do you stay ahead so that people know that not only does the music change, but the way to consume music changes and you have to adapt and evolve with that?
Yeah, you just gotta just pay attention to the way the world is shifting. If everybody's shifting to the right, don't fight it. You know what I mean? Just figure out how to win, and when you shifting.
The most ingenious thing I've seen within the past 15 years was Mac Hami. He has an album with 3 different designs on it. Did you see that?
No.
One loop is oval to the right, one loop is oval to the left, and one is a circle in the middle. That's 3 albums on one vinyl. And that thing sold for $15,000.
Oh wow.
When you have artists, how do you find their value and how do you keep their value alive?
Well, we still learning that. We still learning and connecting to the audience. And it's all about research. Getting to know the audience, who's consuming the music, where, and feed that market. So it's all about research.
With people going to the digital space now, podcasting is real big. You are also an executive producer on 2 prolific podcasts. I say mine is the best. I don't care what's out there. No disrespect, but salute to everybody. But Drink Champs and Smoke Champs is out there, and we all know the importance of them in the culture. In your opinion, how does podcasting bring the culture to the next great level and not help it fall off?
Well, I'm the executive producer of Smoke Champs, not Drink Champs.
Okay.
Family. So I don't ever want to, take away from Mr. Lee and Diego, and everybody else that works hard at Drink Champs. I mean, they're doing a great job up there. So there's, so salute to the family. But Smoke Champs, man, that's where we at. Smoke Champs.
One of my favorite episodes was the Gilly and Wallow joint. That was hilarious.
Yep. Now we gearing up to drop a lot of more episodes. We just been dealing with a lot of technical stuff behind the scenes. We had a situation, then we not sure we wanted to go there. So now we just dealing with where we gonna want to go, and be comfortable.
Yeah. Well, salute to everybody at every show. Let's focus on your show though.
Mm-hmm.
What makes the podcast arena an aid to music? Because what I see, and this pisses me off as a person who may not have a name in the industry, I'm competing against people who are musicians who now have the clout to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also fighting against people who have a gimmick and make a conversation. I believe in real conversation and promoting the artist so you get to know the artist and fall in love with them. It will make you want or entice you to want to hear their music. With those three divisions in the podcast space, what keeps podcasting alive and not devour itself due to taste and preference?
Well, it's about the content. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of podcasts that's trash, that's boring. You know, it's about the talent. You know, it's not even about the artist you're bringing up. It's about the interviewee. You know what I mean? How is that, podcaster's personality? So that's what's gonna stand the different. That's what's gonna separate you from everybody else. It's cool you get these big famous artists, but if you don't have personality, if you don't have something that's different from everybody else, you're just gonna go away.
Well, damn it, I'm here to stay, and y'all better keep watching for Heritage Hip Hop because I ain't going nowhere.
I'm doing a good
All
job.
right,
Going.
I appreciate you. So before we end this interview,
Yes,
I
sir.
would like to give you, how did you like being on Heritage Hip Hop, or would you think other people would like to come on this platform?
Oh yeah, man. No, you definitely have a lot of great questions, and you're not asking the typical, questions. So it's definitely entertaining.
And I appreciate you because, for one, you're a father. And a lot of men in today's society with this traditional man and modern woman bullshit, we
Yep.
get thrown under the bus. So being a father and being a man in a younger man's life, that's your son, salute to you 100%.
Thank you, my bro.
And I also respect you because, as you know, you started something from the ground up like this.
Yeah.
And it's very hard. And if people don't see or appreciate the work, they do this to you, while other people who don't look like you or in your area will love you because you're giving a voice to people and you're introducing them to people that they want to hear. So once again, salute to you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Heritage Hip Hop. It is now time for the most important question of the podcast. And that question is this. Shampoo, I want to ask you this. 500 years from now, when they do the Hip Hop Hall of Fame and your name and your label, your music group is brought up and people study you, they're going to push a red button on the wall and your hologram is going to come out. When they do that, you're going to inspire people 500 years in the future from your story. What is your legacy?
Sorry about that.
Okay. You're going to inspire people 500 years in the future with your story. What is the legacy you left behind that made the world better because you did hip hop?
Never stop, man. Believe in yourself. Even when everybody tell you no, find a way. There's always gonna be people to stand in front of you. Learn how to walk around them. Don't let nobody stop you. And that's what people are gonna get from me. From coming from the ground, from handing out flyers to having my own imprint, to the next step is to having one of the biggest, one or two or three of the biggest artists in the world. So that's what y'all gonna say is, wow, he did it from the ground up. He did it his way. That's what I want people to take back from me. Is like, yo, he did it his way, and he did it from the ground up, and he never stopped working.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end of the podcast. But before we go, I want to say shout out to my brother Nas the Romantic, A&N on R&B. If you have any R&B artists, you want to check out A&N on R&B. My man is what I do for hip hop, he does for R&B, and he's a beast. So that's somebody that you would like to send your artist to.
Yeah, definitely,
And
man. Let's get Brooklyn on there. Let's get my artist Brooklyn on there.
no doubt. And for song of the week, we have Brooklyn Rubber Band Gal. So if you got that, you like that West Indian touch, you like to dance, you like that smooth sexiness that comes with rhythm, not just eye candy, check out Brooklyn Rubber Band Gal out right now. And also look forward to Who I Am by Conan, right? Is that what it is? No, Brooklyn's Who I Am project.
Well, Conan
Right.
got Journey, and he got Snapchat out featuring Ganja Kills.
And there you go right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's your songs of the week. I'm going to take you off before I end the show. Stay right there, though.
Thank you, my bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast tonight. This podcast is brought to you by heritagehiphop.com. We introduce you to your future favorite artists today while celebrating hip hop by standing on the shoulders of those who made hip hop great. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button of Heritage Hip Hop on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, or wherever you stream your audio podcasts for sure. Not only that, if you like what you see, you like this shirt, this is Jersey hip hop, but we have the 50 states of hip hop. And not only that, we have other merch. Go to TeePublic, TeePublic.com/heritage hip hop. You can donate to Heritage Hip Hop, $Heritage Hip Hop, and everything we get goes to building this platform. Also look forward to the Heritage Hip Hop Awards, August of this year, as we celebrate not only our 7th year of doing Heritage Hip Hop on the books, but the award show is something people look forward to, and that's how we say thank you to the independent artists and people in the game that are great out there. I'd like to thank my guest, Shampoo, and thank you to YNVS Music Group, to everybody who tuned in, everybody who dropped a comment. May the Most High bless you, and may we make hip-hop land live long and prosper. And with that being said, may the Most High always stand with you. Peace, and we out.
Real hip hop, real hip hop. We here, real